Thanks. I'm grateful and have no regrets. The morning sun spills across the front of the tent. Kulsum is getting her gear together. With practiced hands, she loads cartridges one by one into her ammo belt. You might just see a mother, but when it comes to this, she's as skilled as any man. Today, she's not heading into the woods. Instead, she's going down to the river to fish. But this trip is no walk in the park. The riverbanks are known for bears and other wildlife. She needs to bring her rifle for protection. After saying goodbye to her mother-in-law, she sets off for the river. You could call this a road, but really, it's more like an extreme off-road mountain trail. It's covered in loose rocks, and dust fills the air. Looking down from here, that river seems like it's right there. You might think it's just a short walk away, but that's just a trick of the eye. Actually getting down there, that's a whole different story. The mountain path twists and turns, winding back and forth with 1,000 switchbacks. The path is littered with rocks, and thorns are overgrown everywhere. Kulsum watches every single step she takes, her eyes glued to the ground. In just a little while, Kulsum makes it down a steep section of the mountain path. She's a little bit closer to the river now. Even though the path is winding and treacherous, and covered in gravel, at least going downhill is a little bit easier. Kulsum is traveling light, carrying only her rifle and a fishing net. Because it's a pretty long way out, and the trail is rough, and there's no guarantee she'll even catch any fish. She decides to look for a place to spend the night. If she can't make it back tonight, she'll just have to rough it in the wild. She takes out her rifle and loads around. While it's still daylight, she wants to find a cave where she can stay for the night. Over here is a small, natural cave. It might be a place where shepherds or hunters take shelter from time to time. But it could also be a den for bears, wolves, or even leopards to rest. Out here in the quiet, dangerous wilderness, Kulsum knows that wild animals could be hiding just out of sight. Bears, wolves, hunting dogs, even wild boars. And none of them are anything to mess with. She fires a shot towards the empty mountainside in the distance. That gunshot isn't meant to hit anything. It's a warning, a declaration, letting them know a human is here. Stay away. Then she keeps moving. Soon she comes across a simple shelter, made of stone and wood. It's a very primitive-looking structure. Tree trunks are used as support beams. The roof is covered in branches, and it's surrounded by stone walls. It looks like an old sheep pen left by a shepherd, or maybe just a temporary shelter. After a short break, Kulsum continues on toward the river. After a tough hike, she's getting closer and closer to the water. But even though she's almost there, she can't let her guard down. She knows that water sources like this are a magnet for wild animals coming for a drink. She stops and chambers around. Finally, Kulsum makes it to the riverbank. She sets down her rifle and gets her fishing net ready. It's time to start the day's work. As she casts her net for the first time, she feels a little spark of excitement. After all, she climbed all the way down here, trekked this far, she didn't come just to sunbathe. But unfortunately, the first pull of the net comes up completely empty. Didn't even pull up a single weed. But with the second cast, he managed to catch a small fish. That gave him a huge boost of confidence. At least he knew there were fish in this river. But how many? Well, that all depended on what he caught next. Kulsum cast his net out again. A little while later, he started to slowly pull it in. This time, the net felt noticeably heavier. And sure enough, he had caught 2 more fish. They weren't huge, but they weren't small either. Just the right size for a stew or for grilling. What he had caught were 2 spotted trout. Their skin was a grayish-yellow and silvery, covered in little dark spots. This type of fish loves cold, fast-moving mountain streams and rivers. You find them up in the high country. Kulsum put the freshly caught fish into a cloth bag, and then went right back to casting his net. Looks like his luck was really turning around today. Of course, it could just be that this river was packed with fish. He just might catch a lot more. This time, another fish was caught in the net. He was thrilled. But then, something unexpected happened. The fish struggled like crazy, and slipped right through a hole in the net. With a splash, it was back in the water. He wasn't discouraged. He just kept casting. After all, you gotta let the little ones go to catch the big ones. He prayed that this time, he'd be able to catch something even bigger, and more of them. Unfortunately, the next 2 casts in a row came up completely empty, but he had to keep trying. This little bit of fish wasn't nearly enough. This time, Kulsum tried a different strategy. Instead of casting his net near the calm water by the shore, he cast it where the current was much faster. Maybe he'd get a nice surprise. And what do you know? He caught another decent-sized fish. He was so happy. A smile spread across his face. He thanked God for letting him catch another one. Kulsum tossed the net back into the river. He waited patiently, and when he started to pull the net in, he could immediately tell something was different. This time, the net felt seriously heavy.